Hi, friends. It is Tuesday, so you know what that means. I had something else planned for tonight. However, I just had a potential sales conversation and decided to take a radical 180 and go a complete different direction because I think it's worth mentioning and it's fresh on my brain. So I'm going to start with the title for this is Disqualify, Disqualify, Disqualify. So I'm taking a little bit from Badass Donnie Bovine and also a little bit from one of my most favorite books that I've read up to this point. I highly recommend it to every single person. It is called The Win Without Pitching, Manifesto. And it's just this brilliant little book. If you can see, these are all the pages that I've like dog-eared because that's how much of this book I have absolutely loved. I will 100% be reading it probably once every 6 months or so. It's just really awesome, and I really recommend that you guys get it. It really allows you to shift your mindset and how you think about selling and charging and just a lot of other things that are super crucial to us, not just as business owners, but especially those of us that we're doing it all ourselves. We're that solopreneur. And one of the parts that I want to talk about with this disqualification is this idea that you do want to disqualify, and you want to disqualify early. Okay. Now, the sales conversation that I had was not at all negative, and the person is not like, you're not an evil, bad person. It's nothing like that. However, they did start the conversation with, this is literally how it started. I introduced himself and said, it came through kind of a referral from Andrew, from my husband, just because he had met with him about something different and mentioned that I did this, that I was a brand strategist and did design and everything. And he said that he went to my website and that based on what he saw, he's pretty sure we're not a good fit. Which, I mean, why are you calling me? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I said, why don't you just tell me about what you're looking for? And, I'll be super transparent with you. And so that's really kind of lesson number one, you guys, is you're not going to be a good fit for everybody, and don't force it. Okay. Because you'll be miserable and the client will be miserable. So if you're not a good fit, it's really okay. But you want to find that out early. And rather than the client figuring that out, and this is going to be uncomfortable at first, but start to position yourself in such a way that you can start to ask disqualifying questions early on. And I will be straight up with you. I will the next time. I didn't do that early enough in this conversation. I felt like this individual was trying to get me to convince him that he wanted to hire me. And that, I'm proud to say, I did not do. That's not my job. Really, what we want on our end, we want them convincing us. We want them, because then they've convinced themselves. And so if we can disqualify early or ask what we call disqualifying questions and go, you know what? I'm a little concerned that we might not be a good fit because of A, B, and C. And then if they start going, well, no, that's a good sign. Okay. But if the answer is going to be no, we want to know that early on, as early as possible. Time is our most valuable resource. I went ahead in my brain. So we don't want to waste ours, and we don't want to waste theirs. And so one of the quotes, the little section in the Win Without Pitching manifesto, it gives you 12 manifestos that you're going to abide by. And the sixth one is we will be selective. And what it says, I'm going to read you two different parts. And what it says is, no is the second best answer we can hear. If the answer is no, we want to hear it as soon as possible before we and the client unnecessarily waste valuable resources. When an opportunity first arises, therefore, we try to see if we can kill it. And that's so contradictory to what we want to do, especially if you're just starting, because, and I've been there, we need money. We need to make the sale. And there is something to be said for that, but not at the sake of what ultimately is going to be our sanity. And I can speak from experience, and anyone else, if you're listening on the replay, do throw a comment up there, because I think all of us that have been in business, we've taken on those clients that we knew weren't a good fit for the sake of the sale. And it's usually us that suffers. The client doesn't have the best experience because we're not having the best experience and therefore can't deliver the best of our service. But we're the ones that ultimately are miserable, and it's not worth it, you guys. And so one of the other things that it says, it talks about reversing the dynamics of objections. And it's talking about this idea is that we have a tendency to avoid those areas of objection. And when we do that, we allow the client to be the one to raise them first. And then we're trying to overcome them. And we want to flip that script a little bit, right? So what it says, such dynamics are easily reversed when we learn to raise the objections first and place them on the table for the client to address. Instead of us waiting to hear, you seem expensive, we might say, I'm a little concerned about the ability of an organization of your size has to afford us. In this manner, we want to learn to lean into potential objections. If the objection is going to kill the deal, let's kill it early. And that's so, so, so crucial, you guys. Don't be afraid of no. And again, if it's going to be no, dude, let's get it out of the way. Like, let's figure that out right here, right now. And so if Donnie ever hears this, I'm really sad that I missed my opportunity. And if you guys are not in Donnie's group yet, the Success Champions, what are you doing with your life? Get in there. Like, go now. I've sponsored it in the group, so it's easy to find. But he's just got some pure gold. And then I would highly recommend you take a look at his more private selective group that's Becoming a Champion, because that stuff in there is just absolutely incredible. And so one of the things that we talked about was disqualifying questions. And if that's something that you become a part of, he goes into so much detail about that. But I'm an overachiever. And so he gave us an assignment, and I think I'm the only one that like actually did it, but not only that, I did it like ×2. So it was coming up with disqualifying questions, and I came up with like 20 of them instead of 10, because this is who I am as a person. And I did not seize the opportunity to use those questions in this call, and I'm so bummed out about it. But what I did do is very quickly, when I realized that this scenario was more about this individual trying to get me to convince him, I was super quick to say, he asked me what would not make him an ideal client. And I said some things that I knew might steer him away from me. And the interesting part about it was when I said, it seems like you know exactly what you want. And while that's a really good thing, I'm a brand strategist first and foremost. And so if my client has an idea or wants to go a direction and they're not amenable to other options, if it goes against the strategy, then my integrity doesn't allow for me to continue to charge that person and deliver something that I know is not good for them, whether they realize it or not. And that kind of set him on his heels a little bit. But what I found was he also mentioned that he wants to keep it in WordPress. And I don't design in WordPress for a million different reasons. But I said, that's not what I use. And I said, so here's the thing. I said, you're probably right. We probably are not a good fit. And you know what? That's totally okay. And he instantaneously like, well, wait a minute, and backpedaled a little bit. But I did not continue. I kind of cut the conversation off very politely and very respectfully. He asked to see, he wanted me to send him the design platform that I use. In the process of the conversation, he also asked me if I was willing to do some mock-ups of the designs I might do for him. And guys, I told him no, not because I'm trying to be a bitch, but because for me to design a mock-up of a website takes the same amount of time as for me to design the fucking website. So I'm not going to do all that work for free. And I stood my ground. And, at the end of the conversation, I just reassured him that sometimes people are not good fits and that is perfectly okay. And that, I certainly wish him all the best. And, if he wants to reach out to me again, he knows how to get a hold of me. And he's actually texted me twice since I've been on this live. So anyway, disqualify, right? Don't be afraid of no. Actually embrace it. It can be your best friend. If you're not getting any no's, that's another conversation that we'll have another night. But if you're not getting any no's whatsoever, then what that tells me is it tells me that there's one of two or both major problems, maybe more, but let's focus on just two for now. One, you're not charging enough. Okay. If you don't get any no's, friends, you're not charging enough. I know that's uncomfortable, especially at first, but embrace it. And two, you're not being selective enough and you're not niched down enough. Okay. Because if you're serving everyone, you're really not serving anyone, let alone yourself. So kind of roll that around in your brain a little bit. If you have any questions, please throw them in the comments at any point in time and I'll be happy to answer them. whether you're watching live or on replay. I don't think anybody's watching live right now, but that's totally cool. I also am about to drop something in the group. I'm about to give you guys another piece of content, freebie content that I've gotten together for you about 5 reasons you need a website. And yes, that means you too. So I hope you guys will enjoy that and can find some good value in that. Anytime, you guys, ask me questions. That's what I'm here for. I want to help. I want to try to give you as much as I possibly can. So whether it's about this or it's another topic you want covered or anything, just let me know. And again, don't forget to post things, you guys. Use this group to your advantage. Throw things out there. I am certainly not the only one that can provide some valuable knowledge and insight. I want to give you as much as I can, but there are so many incredible professionals and experts that are in this group. So take advantage of it. Hope you guys are having a fabulous evening. It is National Drink Wine Day. Go get you a glass, okay? Don't let me down here, people. All right? Get your glass of wine. Enjoy it, and I'll talk to you later.